had a big old Bloodline video at the start of this week's episode of SmackDown, which basically showed them committing a lot of crimes. I mean, there was at least 2 counts of assault and intent with a deadly weapon. And have the police shown up? No, they have not. Also, hello, my friends. Welcome to Saturday morning and welcome to SmackDown Ups and Downs. We do have a little bit of housekeeping to get out the way because if you are going to the All-In AEW event, What Culture are running a show on that day before the All-In show starts, and you can get some tickets right now in the link, which is right down there. And you can buy up and down foam fingers. So if you want to go to Wembley and cause a fuss, you know what to do. And as per those fingers, let's up those downs. Clearly Cody Rhodes had seen this video as well because he came out to the ring. I bet he was walking out going, man, where are the cops? This is ridiculous. He wasn't in a suit, which is always interesting because it means he's ready to fight. He got that microphone and essentially said, hey, Randy Orton, I love thee. That is because Randy Orton has had his back forever, and hey, if you go way back when, he has always been his mentor. And if it wasn't for Mr. Randall, he wouldn't even be the WWE champion. So I was just laughing. I was like, Codes, as soon as you're done with this Bloodline stuff, he is going to absolutely screw you over. This is why he does feel guilty about what's happened to Randy, because he got taken out by the Bloodline last week. Because let's just talk about it. He's essentially family, and he's like a brother. So for no reason whatsoever, I'm just going to throw in here that Dustin Rhodes' contract may end later in 2024. Just saying. Cody then spoke to Solo Sikoa directly through the camera, like that's how it worked, and he started to remind him, a couple of years ago, I told you that you weren't ready for me, and you weren't ready for nothing. And then we got to WrestleMania 39, and you did get your revenge, because you cost me that WWE Championship, but you know what, Solo? You still ain't. And he should have known this was going to happen. Somebody interrupted him. I mean, it's a tale as old as time itself. Now, very interesting it was Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. And at first I was like, why on earth have you come out? But they made a very good point. They were like, look, we got beaten up by Jacob Fatu 7 days ago. And after thinking about it, we blame you, Cody Rhodes. A bit like, you should probably blame Jacob, but you do you. Austin was also upset about his swollen cheek, but Cody murked him right away. He's like, that wasn't from the line of blood. That's from when your own tag team partner hit you in your match last week. I was like, Austin, he is technically correct. So that breakup is definitely coming. At this juncture, randomly, I do need to let you know that boxer Terrence Crawford was in the crowd. Now, him and Cody had done a little bit of fist bumping when Rhodes came to the ring. But because here they got into a big fight, a big old brawl, Cody went to Terrence, who went, oh yeah, here's a steel chair. Imagine if any other fan had done that, they would have been arrested. It, of course, allowed Cody to have an equalizer, and this was so damn funny, because Grayson Waller, I think, over-anticipated, he preempted. So at one point, he was just standing there waiting to be hit by a steel chair. So many people get mad at this. It is my favorite wrestling stuff. Put a smile on my face. It was also great too because Rhodes hit Austin Theory with a variation of the Van Daminator. When he threw the chair at him, in order to ensure there was the space between them and Austin didn't attack, Theory looked at this thing like, oh my gosh, what is this alien device? I tell you, I thought all of this was brilliant. So given they got their asses whipped, we were going to have a tag team match later, which we will get to. I suppose we're just taking our time here before we get to SummerSlam. And now I'm convinced we will get the Grayson Waller and Austin Theory match very soon. And then when we come out the other side of Hot WrestleMania, it's probably going to be Cody versus Randy. Ooh, Delali, this is all right. Carmelo Hayes then promised us that he was going to beat Andrade in around about 35 seconds. I was like, Carmelo, you better not be lying to me. When Cody found Nick Aldis, he was like, please, give me the tag team match. Actually, he wanted a handicap match. Nick was like, dude, how am I ever going to explain that to the people that run the company? You're going to have to get yourself a tag team partner. So he was being the smart one. And at first I was all like, well, why doesn't he just go get Randy Orton? This goes to show what a flubbing idiot I am. The whole point here is the Bloodline have taken out Randy and he ain't going to be around for a while. And that's probably what he's going to use when he does beat up Cody Rhodes. So I agree with you. Somebody fire my ass. And yep, Carmelo Hayes is a liar. He went and lost to Andrade. The good news about all of this, though, is that him and Mr. Tranquilo went out there, and in terms of 2024 and making your debuts or re-debuts on the main roster, this has to be both of these guys' best match. It's flipping brilliant. They both went nuts to start with when they did end up in a stalemate. So Hayes kind of hung Andrade over the middle rope where he did this spring drop, leg drop thingamajig, springboard leg drop thingamajig. I watched it 3 times, and clearly it ruined my voice speech pattern. I was like, how did he do that? It's very good. He also survived the commercial breaks. When we came back from the advert, he hit Andrade with the Spanish Fly. And man, this one should be studied by historians. Usually it's the adverts that totally ruin you. He also went right after the arm after this too, and why wouldn't you do that? You do some flippy dippy doodah stuff, then you try and break a limb. That's just good strategy. Pretty sure that's what they do in wars. Andrade then flew in with a clothesline when he started to hit the dragon screw, when he decided to pose, and I had a mini meltdown here. I was like, why is no one listening to me? You have to stay away from the D-pad. And look, fair enough, he was able to hit the double knees, but then what happened? Carmelo got him. It's like, this one didn't work, but it's my show, I do what I want. Once again though, Carmelo has the coolest offense, because he can hit what I can only describe as like a tilt-a-whirl flatliner, when both of these maniacs found themselves at the top of the turnbuckle, and Andrade did this really excellent moonsault. That's when I felt my tush, and I was like, yep, I'm having a good time. He also landed this big elbow for the 1-2-ooh, but when he tried again, he actually got hit with the first 48. This is when Carmelo Hayes was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do it. And yeah, he went to the top rope and he was going to hit nothing but net. But actually, it's that first word we have to focus on. He hit nothing. Because quickly Andrade grabbed him and hit the message to get the 1-2-3. And this one has to get a round of applause. Like, I have no idea what the direction is. I suppose either guy could be LA Knight's first US title opponent, although Andrade would have to turn heel. But if you just wanted a dose of good wrestling injected into your eye, well, it's absolutely getting it up. We had a funny segment, because it was classic WWE in the sense that Bayley was in one room and Nia Jax was in another room, I suppose because officials felt like they couldn't do an interview in the same place, otherwise they'd fight. But it basically means it looks like this. Well, Nia Jax, I've decided to take my fist and punch you straight in the face, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, one person just has the silliest reactions. Nia also told Bayley that everyone's going to start feeling sorry for her soon because she will be losing her championship at Hot WrestleMania. And, you know, Nia is the queen, so Bayley should start addressing her as such. You know, like she is royalty, and that is proper protocol. And Bayley didn't like any of this because she walks around like she owns the place, but Nia Jax has always been this way. And in fact, let's go back to that time you did injure me. It's not because you're big and strong, because you're big, clumsy, and reckless. Nia then had to do the shocked face that we've already talked about when Bayley said, you know what, I too am not the same person, so I shall beat you at Summerslam. And this weren't really that heated, but Nia got so mad, she threw her microphone on the floor and she stormed off. I mean, maybe she'd left the oven on. I also have to be honest with you here, my negative nerd Nancy side did kick in, because once I heard it, once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it or unhear it. Just didn't make any sense. So we do suspend our disbelief when we watch pro wrestling, which is the idea. Bayley was actually saying, well, we're performers at the end of the day, and you injured me because you made a mistake. Whereas once again, if we program our brains that what we're watching is real combat, then Nia Jax should get in the ring and be like, man, I hate you so much, I'm actually going to try and injure you, because if you're that hurt, I can just beat you for the 1-2-3. So we actually went a little bit too inside baseball here. And when it came back out the other side, it was 2 + 2 = potato. And look, I really enjoy these two. They are absolutely underrated in their own special way. And when we get to that match, I think it's going to be great, because ever since Nia Jax has returned, she's been doing this over and over again. And when it comes to Bayley, well, she rarely misses. I do actually think that her booking since winning at WrestleMania has been a little bit strange, but it's a different video for a different day. So yes, while I do still anticipate their match at SummerSlam, this one did not work for me, because as soon as that was in my head, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I do have to get it down. It's not a big deal, people. Life moves on, as it does right now. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair then bumped into Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, and I had a moment. I was like, I have no idea what brand they're on anymore. They all wanted to talk to Nick Aldis, but because they were doing a little bit of waiting, Chelsea Green and Bianca Belair fell out when they decided to have a match right now. Bless Chelsea Green as always too, because she tied it into her gimmick, the Maximizer a minute. Because honestly, this one didn't even go a minute. So Chelsea walked right up to Bianca and just slapped her right around the face. So Belair's like, you don't get to do that to me. She slapped Chelsea back, and then she basically whooped her ass and was going to give her the KOD. Chelsea didn't fancy that though, so she reversed it into the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up, when, if you can believe it, Bianca was able to switch that too into her own surprise roll-up, and she beat Chelsea Green for the 1-2-3. Now, I'll be honest with you, I would rather these matches didn't go a minute, because it ties too much into the past, but this one made me chuckle because, man, Chelsea Green got beaten by her own game. It just makes me like the character more. Somebody shoot me. The aftermath was much stranger to me because Isla Dawn and Alba Fire appeared on the screen. They were like, oh, hi, Jade and Bianca. Sure, you can have a shot at our tag team titles. Maybe we'll make a decision next week. That's like me telling you I'm not very hungry, but we should still go to the grocery store. Maybe. So I still am a little bit worried about the focus on the women's tag team titles because they just feel so wishy-washy, and it's actually there where I'm going to get the down. That's where the 1 minute thing is a problem because we just zoomed through all of this way too fast, whereas actually people should be talking about the fact that Chelsea Green was a funny friend. So that bit gets down, but the Chelsea stuff gets an up. At the moment, she can just do no wrong. And if we are about to introduce women's WWE and Intercontinental Championships, well, she should absolutely get one of them. When I think we got the best segment of the night. Because Nick Aldis was in the ring and he wanted to try and get a US title match sorted for Hot WrestleMania. So out came LA Knight and out came Logan Paul. Boom. They started to throw barbs at each other when LA Knight took a little trip in his time machine. It was like, a year ago, I told you what I was going to do to you, which was taking bottles of Prime and sticking them up your ass. And I said this 12 months ago, and I'll say it here, I don't really want to see that. LA then made sure to say good things about Logan Paul because he is the champion. But look, he asked for the match, and he got told no when he broke into his house and actually used his pool. That's a bit like, yeah, LA Knight, that's a crime. You probably shouldn't have done that. Logan then shut him down by calling him Sean, which is his real name, when you gotta hold your hands up and be honest. I think he may have cut one of the best promos he's done so far. He did the whole you're living and dying by all your accolades in the ring, and while you are very good at that, what have you done over the last 20 years? Where's your big moment? Whereas you look at me, I'm kicking ass in the ring, and I'm kicking ass outside of the ring. I mean, all these things are going for me, so essentially I'm better than you. He even admitted that he did enjoy Knight's shtick, but when you do break it all down, he is just an all-up, muscly guy that absolutely wants to be The Rock. Now, as LA Knight responded, that is such tired news right now, but again, it's all about delivery. I thought Logan did a very good job. LA can handle anything though, and I actually think he called him Low T Logan Paul at one point, which we'll leave to one side. But he tied this into his own family. He's like, well, you mentioned the Paul name. Your brother Jake is about to fight Mike Tyson, but you don't even have the balls to step in the ring with me. And as we have learned, when you do become a professional wrestler, if someone insinuates that you do not have testicles, you cannot handle this, you go out of your mind. So Logan Paul grabbed that contract after saying to the fans, oh, you weren't, you're gonna get it. And he signed on the dotted line. He also said he's going to take everything from LA Knight at Summerslam when he went, yeah, and stole his catchphrase and threw the clipboard at him. And even though Nick Aldis tried to calm these two guys down because he's very good at his role, eventually Logan, like some kind of school kid, ran into the ring. They got into a fight, and just as LA was about to give him the BFT, Logan Paul ran away again because he's a dick. So I really thought this made a feud that I was already interested in and made it feel must-see. And honestly, in a big arena like that, under the hot damn sun, we have to make sure LA Knight does get his moment and becomes the United States champion, and he should probably hold that thing for a long old time. So I really did enjoy this a lot, and Logan Paul is just such a good heel, and LA Knight is brilliant. I love that man. Give it an up. They got a video for Tiffany Stratton because she's super happy to be Miss Money in the Bank when Santos Escobar found LA Knight. He gave him what for. Now, to be fair, he had an amazing point. He was like, wait a minute. We had that three-way qualifier for the Money in the Bank, and you, Mr. Knight, pinned Logan Paul. Nobody pinned me, so I want my cheese. Knight was perfectly cool with this and told Santos to have his mum make the arrangements because she already has LA Knight's number. Fair play, dude. That's a very good line. That's going to happen on next week's show, but on this week's, we got Tiffany Stratton versus Michin. And you ain't gonna believe this. Because Michin was running wild early on until she literally ran into Nia Jax, who was on the outside with her new best friend. That caused a distraction when Stratton grabbed Michin and gave her this Alabama slam on the floor. That's one of the most brutal things I've ever seen. She too survived the commercial break because when we came back, she was still hammering on Michin when she also hit the double knees in the corner. I was like, wait a minute, that's exactly what Andrade did. Conspiracy. Smartly, Stratton tried the Alabama slam again because if he had hit that in the ring, she definitely would have won. But Michin had learned, she hit a bunch of elbows, she hit a bunch of kicks, she finished her off with a DDT. Michin then finally had some steam, so surprise, surprise, Nia Jax got involved again. But at this point, Bayley just appeared like she had been hiding in space. This made me laugh too. She must have been watching the damn thing and decided it's fine that Nia Jax interfered once, but if she does it again, I'm gonna go get her. She did this too because she threw Nia over barricade. When she got the briefcase, she just smashed it up like she was stomping on it and the contract fell out, it went everywhere. as I bails. It's just an inanimate object. Of course, the whole point was to cast a major distraction when you ain't gonna believe it. Michin snuck in behind Tiffany Stratton and gave her the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment surprise roll-up, and she beat her for the 1-2-3. I tell you, I made a lot of noise. Now, I really enjoyed this for 4 main reasons. I mean, 1, Michin has been kicking ass recently, so she deserves something. 2, Tiffany Stratton is such a good heel and has the money in the bank, so she can get away with it. 3, it does enhance the story between everyone and Nia Jax and Bayley. And 4, it was a massive surprise win, and this just helps your overall product, because you teach the fans, well, maybe I should pay attention. So this was a really pleasant one, and actually did a better job with the Bayley-Nia Jax feud than that weird thing we had earlier. So it's getting it out. But as always though, given as we did throw 2 surprise roll-ups on this show, I do have to throw a pointless down in there. But honestly, with the Bianca Belair and Chelsea Green stuff, given how it went, that could have just finished with the KOD. So yeah, you know, I've set a precedence for this now, but once again we move. Then turned out the Bloodline still hadn't paid their electricity bill, because they're still sat in that damn dark room. Now, Solo Sikoa was telling us how hard it is to be the tribal chief, because he has no time for himself. When he does, he has to go deal with stuff to do with Cody Rhodes. And I was like, I get it, bro, life is hard. He also wanted to make it very clear that whoever does decide to team with Cody Rhodes this evening isn't posing a threat to the Bloodline, because it's nice and simple maths. If you team with Cody, you're against the Bloodline, so don't go team with Cody. By this point, you could probably figure out who it was, and I think WWE knew that too, because we cut to Mr. Rhodes, and who walked in and was like, man, let's do it? None other than the returning Kevin Owens. And honestly, all the love to that guy. He put on social media this week that his mum is going to be okay. That's the important stuff. It also meant we did get Cody and Kevin taking on Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, so this was just a bucket of fun, because Kevin hates those guys anyway. Cody was just flying around the place. Waller at one point though was able to hold Cody back, which allowed A-Town Down Under to get over, which is quite the mouthful, when they threw the WWE champion back into the ring and they beat him up for a while. Thankfully, Kevin Owens in the corner and he was rubbing his hand, and when it was lukewarm, got a tag. Now he killed Grayson Waller with these stops, which really made me laugh, and got a cannonball, but then Grayson was able to get the tag to Austin so they could start using their double team powers, and it definitely worked. They hit the big elbow. I was able to get a 1-2-ooh when Kevin Owens found himself up there on T in the turnbuckle, so he was able to hit a senton. And as I always tell you, by this point, Cody had been doing anything to get his hand to the optimum temperature, and this time when he got the slap, it was a hot tag. But he totally ended Austin, although Grayson was able to get a blind tag. But that didn't do much of anything, because Cody Rhodes had definitely cast his super here, and he was just taking out everybody. Eventually Theory did tag back in, but when Grayson went to knee Cody Rhodes, Rhodes got out of the way, meaning Waller almost hit Austin again. As the commentators told us, they almost accidentally had this collapse. So look, when we get to SummerSlam, we are probably doing Grayson Waller versus Austin Theory. That did allow Cody to hit the Cody cutter on Austin Theory when Kevin Owens was here and he was busting out stunners. When finally Cody's like, you know what, I'm done with this. He grabbed Austin Theory, he gave him the crossroads, and that was it. Nice and easy win, but also ties into the ending of A-Town Down Under. Once again, it's so hard to say. The Bloodline were out so fast, they must have been weirdos, hiding behind the curtain going, not yet, quick go. And of course, even though Kevin and Cody tried to fight, this was terrible wrestling mess and they got ran over. I mean, at one point the babyfaces were going to throw Solo Sikoa through Alan the announce table, but you know the deal. Jacob Fatu just hit his go button, and my word, he killed everybody. Much like Brittany, they then did it again, because while they were holding Cody back, they absolutely destroyed Kevin Owens. So now this is another one of his friends he's had to watch go through all of this in front of his eyes. Although it got worse for the American Nightmare after this, because the Bloodline picked him up and they power bombed him through Alan the announce table down. I'm pretty sure Tama Tonga then broke Owens' neck because he wrapped the chair around his head and threw him into the ring post, which of course meant for like the 10th SmackDown in a row, it ended with the Bloodline pointing towards the sky. So many people are going, oh man, I can't believe we got the same finale. I do believe that's the point, because who's going to come back and save the day? Roman Flubbin Reigns. So he's probably going to come back at SummerSlam and help Cody. And now so many people are going, oh, we can't do that. Cody's going to look so weak. If Roman Reigns comes back to help him, who cares? It's a fictional universe. If you're going to have the super duper whooper superhero come back and help the other super duper whooper superhero, I think it's going to be okay. Do you know how many comics I've read when Batman helps Superman or Superman makes Batman? I don't go, man, doesn't Superman look weak? It makes me feel warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum because I'm a geek. So we have definitely laid the table for all of that though, and there is some irony to that, but I am giving it an up. We are just taking our time here, before we get to Hot WrestleMania. And that stands for SmackDown as well. I mean, this one's a bit wishy-washy, especially with some of the women's division stuff. I think we really just need to focus on it more because we have so much damn talent. But look, overall, I'm pumped for the pay-per-view premium live event. Getting it up. Now, please do make sure you let me know in the comments below what you thought about SmackDown. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Head on over to whatculture.com and do stuff there. Click the video on the screen for ups and downs, for Dynamite, or whatever you want to watch. I don't care. More importantly, have a terrific day. I'll see you soon.